Please note, the documentary you are about to watch is composed of two separate segments, one taken on Friday, May 12th, 2023, and one taken on Sunday, July 30th, 2023. As a result, some of the information in the former half of this documentary may be inaccurate. In addition, this documentary contains never-before-seen information regarding the premature cancellation of my show, Asking Interesting Questions. As always, I hope you enjoy.
Hey out there, Denver music aficionados. It's time yet again for another scintillating Denver music documentary. Tonight on The Cutting Slab, we have a real cool act from Denver, Colorado, Keddjra, one of the city's leading bedroom pop outfits. Keddjra describes her sound as pure, legit, bedroom pop. That is to say, bedroom pop recorded in an actual bedroom just using her iPhone. Very simple equipment, a ukulele, and a couple other things, but it's very minimalist and stripped down and basic, and I kinda like that sound. Now, this isn't to say that I'm very big into bedroom pop, or I can personally claim much expertise in the genre. So, we're heading down for an interview with Keddjra and to catch one of her fantastic songs off her new record, How My Friends Must Worry, which came out recently. As I said, I'm not too familiar with bedroom pop, and I don't really listen to it on a very frequent basis, but for the purposes of Denver music documentaries and honest music journalism, which is something I consistently claim Denver needs a lot more of, I feel it's very important to cover all my bases and get as many genres in as possible, even if they're genres I'm not typically that big into. But rest assured, I think the amount of professionalism and technique that Keddjra brings to the table is well worth a listen. How this entire thing got kicked off was I happened to run into Keddjra at last month's Asking Interesting Questions shoot. And she's part of this month's lineup, but she was also there last month because she knew she was going to be part of this month's lineup. And I was like, screw it, you don't have to be on Asking Interesting Questions. I'll make an entire video about you. Because as it happened, I knew I had heard about Keddjra from somewhere, and I was like, you're sure you haven't been on the lineup before? And then she was like, no. And I was like, well, I've heard your name somewhere. And then it dawned on me. Keddjra had been on the Pink Sofa Hour as part of a special bonus episode. And I've been on the Pink Sofa Hour, and I had been binging episodes of the Pink Sofa Hour, and as it happens, I had just completely forgotten that Keddjra was the star of one of those episodes. So considering all that, considering that we're both Pink Sofa Hour alumni, I was like, dang Keddjra, I gotta make a video on you, because if you're interesting enough to appear on the Pink Sofa Hour, Boulder's greatest music journalism program at the current moment, then surely you gotta pop onto one of my music documentaries, given that I'm Denver's greatest music journalist at the current moment. And Keddjra, being the swell gal she is, agreed for a one-on-one interview during her show with her band People in Between at Vision Quest Brewery in Boulder. So once again, I'm traveling to the beautiful metropolis of Boulder, Colorado, up in the foothills next to the Flatirons near Foothills Parkway. In fact, I believe a little bit to the east of Foothills Parkway, to Vision Quest Brewery. It's sort of out of the way, a bit remote, not exactly in the central area of Boulder that I'm used to, but gosh golly, I'll make the trek for the sake of a one-on-one interview with bedroom pop innovator Keddjra. So let's get right into the action and head down to Vision Quest Brewery for an exciting look into the best bedroom pop coming out of the Denver region today. So here I am in charming, exotic Boulder. I'm supposed to take this little walking path to the place. Gosh, it's very charming. Boulder is charming, but I wouldn't want to live here because I like the urban scum. I like the filth and decay. I just got this pleasant sandwich out here. I'm down to Keddjra. Oh, look at this underpass. It's an interesting spot. Sure don't see stuff like this in Denver. What the heck is this? Wow. Kind of a tonal shift. Kind of spooky down here. This is weird. What is this supposed to be? Fabric or something? I don't know. Anyway. Let's get down to Vision Quest Brewery where the action's at. Alright, here we go. This is it. Vision Quest Brewery here in the gorgeous scenic landscapes of Boulder, Colorado. Vision Quest Brewery. There's the sign. You can see it there. I was here. I made it. Well, you can't see the sign because it's blurry. There you go. There's the sign. Wowee, people. Is this going to be the show of a lifetime or what? Let's get inside and check it out.
Alright, this is the first track off of our EP. This is called What's Your Name? It's the first song we all wrote together as a collective. How far we
Okay, so we're here outside of Vision Quest Brewing with the Big Kedj, Special K, Keddjra.
Special K, that's what my dad calls me.
Oh, really? That's an obvious one. Okay, questions are a bit more in-depth than on Pink Sofa Hour, but I think you'll manage. All right.
I'm down for him.
Like I said, I think Keddjra is a fascinating figure in the scene because a lot of bedroom pop, at least from what I've heard and what I always hear referred to as bedroom pop, isn't really as succinct or minimalist as Keddjra makes it out to be. I think Keddjra could potentially revitalize the term and add a sort of new meaning to it that's been gradually lost and eked away over the years. That's only my interpretation, of course. I could be completely off base. Do you apply any standards or ethos to bedroom pop?
You know, the teardown.
So, like in effect, given that you seem to be a bit of a bedroom pop purist, are there any standards you'd say that mark the boundary between bedroom pop and like higher level pop?
I think if you're making music in your bedroom, you can count it as bedroom pop, personally. The way that I did it was definitely a little bit more lo-fi than what most bedroom pop artists do. But I think that if you're producing music by yourself and you're making music by yourself in your bedroom, no matter what tools you're using, you could consider yourself a bedroom artist.
Would you say that these days there's a lot of acts like Joji or whatever that kind of brand themselves as bedroom pop but don't exactly have the lo-fi sound or a lot of production behind them?
Honestly, okay, here's the thing about Joji though, is Joji started off as a bedroom pop artist. Like, that man was making crazy videos and crazy songs, like, in his bedroom, like, fucking making weird videos and stuff.
That's true. Those are
Exactly.
made in, like...
I'd say his sound is more evolved. I don't think he could consider himself bedroom pop anymore.
Right.
I think he's a little past that point, past that mark for sure. But I'd say his early stuff can definitely be considered the bedroom genre.
I guess Joji's probably a bad example. What would you give as an example of someone who's branded as bedroom pop but is more like mainstream pop.
If I'm being honest with you, dude, I don't know a lot of bedroom pop artists.
You don't. You're not very familiar with your own genre.
No, I'm not. I know, it's a shame, but I just make what I make. I just make what I make, and I make it how I make it.
Most of them are just sequestered away in their bedroom, so they don't really get the exposure. The day after I and Keddjra met up at the Asking Interesting Questions shoot, it so happened that I happened to be in her neighborhood, so I dropped her off a massive bag of free comics and shit. I'm not sure if it's some kind of FTC violation or something to bribe some of the people I interview with a shit ton of free comics, but goddamn, I'm gonna do it, because I'm just wacky like that, and I'll give out free comics if people agree to do an interview with me, and I hope Keddjra enjoyed the free comics. I mean, everyone enjoys Nicholas comics. You can't not like Nicholas comics. They're the best comics in Denver. Have you read Rubbish Randy? Did you get that comic?
Oh my god, I did. Did I get that comic?
Maybe you did. Maybe you did get Rubbish Randy. That's my Filthy Frank parody.
Oh,
you
shit,
should check it out.
I should read Rubbish Randy.
You should check it out if you got it.
I read most of them, dude. I'm not gonna lie, they were pretty good.
Okay.
We keep them on our table for light reading.
So you are
Zoe Moth.
from People in Between.
Correct.
Right? Okay. How'd Keddjra get into People in Between?
She got in because Gabby and me, the sax player, we started playing with Eric, the guitar player, and then Eric brought in Keddjra because he was like, yo, there's this like amazing like R&B singer, and she's super dope and super like unique, which is the cool thing about Keddjra, right? So she just came in and we immediately vibed as a group.
When was this?
Probably November 2021.
November 2021.
Officially playing with her like 2022, like April.
I don't know if People in Between would work without vocals.
I know it's not gonna work because we're People in Between. We're Keddjra. We're all together.
You got to have those Keddjra vocals.
You do.
What intricacies or technique are specific to the ukulele? This is a big question because a lot of people just assume the ukulele is like a little guitar, but as far as I can tell, there's a lot to it.
I'd say something that throws most people off is that the bass string is actually the second string down and not the like top string. So that messes up a lot of stringed instrument players when they're trying to pick up ukulele for the first time. But I think it gives it a little bit of a jazzy feel. It's also tuned G, C, E, A, which is different than any other like guitar or bass tuning. So it's a little different.
No other string instrument has that tuning. What is it?
Not to my knowledge. G, C, E, A. It's like the higher string. It's like, I don't know. It's like a little accent string. And then the bass, and then everything else that follows. I think that's what throws most people off about it. And like the thing about ukulele is a lot of people think that it's an instrument for people that don't know how to play instruments. but I think it's just an instrument for fun. I think that's the most important part and the most intricate part about the ukulele is knowing that it's about fun and it's about having a good time and it's not about being the best.
You can have a lot of fun on the ukulele.
Yes, sir.
It's an underappreciated instrument. There's a lot of those, but you doesn't get its fair shake in terms of its like applicability.
Exactly. I feel like not a lot of musicians, when you whip out a ukulele, they're like, this chick is not about to do something cool right now, you know? They're like, this girl's about to play me Somewhere Over the Rainbow. But there's a lot of things that you can do with ukulele. I think it's a lot more diverse than people give it credit for.
You can do a lot more than just that.
You can put distortion on it.
Right. You can put distortion on the ukulele. How could Denver's musical ecosystem as it currently exists improve to be more beneficial for musicians or listeners? Because I listened to your Pink Sofa Hour episode where you kind of say you'd want to move out of Denver and catch somewhere else.
Honestly, I just feel like people in Denver have to be more open to other types of music and to new musicians and people that are pushing the boundaries. Because I feel like...
Get the old motherfuckers out of here, dude.
I feel like a lot of times, like when we go on stage, the covers are the things that get people's attention. The covers are the things that people listen to, but I feel like there's not that much of an appreciation for like music that people are making and music that people are like pouring their souls into out here. I feel like it's mostly like a cover town.
That's true. I don't feel like Denver is open enough to experimentation. I can agree with you 100% on that. My genre, Denver New Wave, I've been going to this radio thing for like a year at this point, this local 303 meetup, and they don't play Denver New Wave on the radio.
They're
But
not interested in
if they did, I imagine most people would think an alien was taking over their radio. So
literally, which we need to change that.
It is music
we need to
that
change
weird.
That.
I mean, your music is more. It would sound good on the radio. It is.
I'd say
specifically.
it's more what's it called? It's more marketable than some things, definitely.
It's got a really good timbre to it. You know.
Thank you.
The way the sound is like arranged and conceived.
I appreciate that.
I have to actually make an update here regarding my series Asking Interesting Questions. I think I'm going to end it, at least for now. I've been doing it for a year straight, and I'm kind of running out of interesting questions to ask, and the questions I do ask aren't always applicable to the bands that happen to show up at the thing, which could be considered a strength of the series, the sort of spontaneity, but there's also the aspect that could be considered a weakness. And I want to focus on making these long-form music documentary, long-ass, comprehensive, extremely tight, well-edited videos, as opposed to asking interesting questions. It's been a nice series, but I kind of think it's run its course, kind of blown off all its steam, the gimmick's kind of worn off, and I'd like to push forward and make some more innovative content. So for the time being, I'm probably just going to show up at those things, talk to the local bands, but I want to focus on making these long-form, big, important documentaries about the really important players in the scene. Even though I do think it's also very important to cover the smaller, less developed bands, and I'll probably figure out some way to do that that's maybe not asking interesting questions. Or maybe after a 6-month hiatus or something, I might bring asking interesting questions back. You never know. But I've been doing it for a year, and I'm kind of sick of it, and I kind of like to move on to new things. So for the time being, just consider the series done. I'll probably release it on VHS eventually. So you are?
Oh, my name's Jeremy.
Jeremy, from People in Between. What do you think of Keddjra's vocals?
Oh, Keddjra's the best. Man, her lyric writing, her songwriting is just terrific. She's got that Amy Winehouse-like voice, you know, it's just the pipes, man.
She sounds like Amy Winehouse?
Oh yeah.
I can't say I've heard Amy Winehouse. I'll have to check Amy Winehouse out.
You might hear some tonight, yeah.
What's your favorite song off How My Friends Must Worry?
I'd probably say The Masochist. That's man.
The Masochist.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the second track on that one. It's
the second track.
Yeah, it's got a good beat.
Because I listened to the whole thing all the way through. There's so much versatility on there.
Yeah.
With it, it's just her.
Exactly. Yeah. No, Keddjra's just an amazing songwriter, multi-instrumentalist. Only does vocals with people in between, but just an incredibly talented musician.
You'd say that Denver isn't really open enough to new stuff. Like People in Between is kind of jazz fusion.
Well, I'd say People in Between got their start playing covers though. That's why we have such a big following and such a good base underneath us. Is we really started our project just playing other people's music, and then we evolved it from there. And by playing covers, we were able to get like a large enough audience and a large enough fan base that we were able to have like a good amount of people listen to our EP and want to come out to our shows.
You said on the website said, I don't know if you wrote this, that it's a funk hip hop group, but I kind of got more contemporary jazz type out of it. Except when you did that one freestyle bit, that was really epic.
Thank you.
That was like, mainly it's kind of more jazzy than funky.
I'd say it's definitely a little bit more jazzy, but we throw some funk in there. I mean, if you listen to the songs off of our EP, I'd say we stray a lot more from jazz, but
yeah, those are more funky.
Yeah, but the jazz influence is definitely there because a lot of our members are jazz, like people that graduated from jazz school. Like jazz
out of
musicians.
the genres, Denver isn't so hip to. Jazz is certainly one of them. A lot of country and a lot of like.
A lot of Grateful Dead, man.
Lots of Grateful Dead.
Lots of Grateful Dead out here, for real.
Lots of old ass motherfuckers.
What are some of your most interesting vocal inflections? Because as a vocalist, surely you have a lot of interesting things you can do with the chords, you know?
I'd say probably my rapping, just because
it's
like,
different.
Exactly, it's different. I'm able to get like really loud and shit like that. And I'd say probably like the little, I don't know. I don't want to do it for the camera. You make me nervous. Hold on, let me think of it. Like something like that, like the little runs, you know? I think that's what...
Like humming with closed mouth? Oh, like that, with like pursed
exactly.
lips.
Like just like little runs.
But when you go into the rap, nobody really expects MC Keddjra to pop out, right?
It's true, dude, which is what I love about it. People in between asked me, they were like, do you think you can rap? And I was like, I can sure fucking try. And that's where Nox came from.
Do you believe authenticity and honesty are vital to music today? As the foremost bedroom pop pioneer, genre that's all based on, you know, being down to earth and going with one's own internal technique and listening to one's own direction, I guess. Do you believe authenticity and integrity are vital to music today?
I think that's the most important part, honestly. Like, I feel like if you're not listening to something that's straight from somebody's heart and soul, like, why are you listening to it? I guess for fun purposes. But if you really want to dig into like what music like makes you feel and what music is supposed to do for you, like, I think integrity and honesty and vulnerability are the most important things that you can have in a piece.
Okay, well that was flippin' cool, and I am speechless right now. Keddjra and her band, People in Between, just tore up the flippin' stage, and I'm glad I came out here to Boulder, and holy shit, there's so many echoes in this creepy tunnel down here. Keddjra did an epic cover of The Distance by Cake, and that was the point where the entire crowd completely lost their shit. Tonight, Keddjra wore a pair of purple glasses that made her look kind of like Prince. They were vaguely reminiscent of that in a certain way. It's kind of hard to describe. But anyway, the main thing is, this wasn't a solo Keddjra show, and at the beginning of this video, I promised you guys a solo Keddjra performance where she just sings melancholy type bedroom pop on her ukulele so you can get a better idea of her general sound. So this was very cool, but this is going to be a two-part video, and you lucky bastards are about to witness a solo Keddjra set that's just on the ukulele, because I figured that was important to document. So I'm going to be going to another of Keddjra's shows, like the persistent little bastard that I am, and I'm going to ask Keddjra even more questions about her illustrious career. And Keddjra is flippin' cool. I mean, I can see why Keddjra is hostile to the Denver music circuit. Denver doesn't appreciate music like that nearly as much as it ought to. And it's very interesting to hear someone for once who's honest about just how dull and vapid Denver's music scene can be at times. I mean, in these music documentaries, I like being optimistic and painting Denver's music as extremely diverse and cool, but you have to admit at a certain point, a lot of it is extremely repetitive and boring. But man, Keddjra certainly deserves all the accolades she's getting, and I hope she gets way more in the months and years ahead. Because she's like a serious Denver legend. She's a gosh dang Janis Joplin of Denver, I'll tell you what. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go to one of Keddjra's solo shows, so stick around for that and more interesting questions and more interesting stuff here. Dang, this is a creepy ass tunnel. This is the side of Boulder you never see in the travel commercials.
So it is July 30th, 2023, and I'm on my way to a really remote, out-of-the-way coffee shop in Arvada. It's pretty far outside Denver proper, but I think Keddjra is gonna play some solo songs on the uke, so we'll finally get to hear that. I've downed enough squirt to tranquilize a horse. It's very surreal to finally be going to see Keddjra play solo. This is definitely one of the longest videos I've ever made, but I think it's worth it, and I've got some more questions for her to answer, so hopefully we'll get some results out of this. It's been a long time. Alright then, so here we are at what's referred to locally as Old Town, with an E at the end of the old because it wants to be quirky like that. We got the little Arvada water tower over there, so you know you're dealing with some old-fashioned shit. So this is where the coffee shop is. It's a little random, but I hear it's Keddjra's favorite coffee shop, and she's played there before, so familiar territory. This is one of the most bizarre videos I've ever made, but I would just feel incomplete if I didn't get a recording of one of Keddjra's famous ukulele solos, which is truly something to behold for the sake of this documentary. So, in 3 months, I last interviewed her like in spring, and it's already like mid to late summer. Wild, isn't it? That time flies. Anyway, let's get down to the coffee shop and hear some lovely ukulele tunes from Keddjra.
New song that I wrote. This song is called Eggs and Toast. It's one of my favorites, for sure.
Okay, so we are here with
Keddjra.
right after an epic jam at Hunter's Bay Coffee here in Old Town, Arvada. Is there any reason in particular you like Hunter's Bay?
Everybody there is so nice. The baristas are great. We get a lot of people walking through there, which is really awesome. We're never playing to an empty crowd in there. So, yeah, there's a lot of reasons to love Hunter's Bay, and their coffee is great.
Would you say it's your favorite spot in the Denver area to play?
I would say it's my favorite coffee shop, or it's my favorite duo gig that I do. For like bigger band stuff, I think there's definitely some other venues that I have more fun at, but Hunter's Bay is definitely my favorite for the small gigs.
What's your favorite spot in Denver?
Honestly, I love Lion's Lair. Lion's Lair is awesome.
But Hunter's Bay, you get more jazzy.
Exactly. Hunter's Bay, we keep it chill. We're doing nice light things, kid friendly.
How has your career changed since we last spoke, if at all?
Well, since we last spoke, I've actually been working a lot more on getting my own personal live band together, which has been super exciting for me.
Okay.
And I've been structuring that and spending a lot more time and focus on that instead of like PIB. I've been working on like making content and stuff like that. I guess nothing has really changed like on the surface, but I feel like there's a lot happening on the underneath.
But,
you know?
But you might have your own backing band soon.
Exactly. Yes.
To go with your solo hits.
Exactly. To go with How My Friends Must Worry and all of my solo things that I do.
I would definitely recommend to anyone watching this to go listen to Keddjra's album, How My Friends Must Worry. It's pretty good. And this is coming from someone who doesn't typically listen to soft pop like this and really has no experience with the genre. But I just find it somewhat pleasant. I find it pretty dang soothing, and it'd probably make good meditation music or something. I don't personally meditate, but it's very relaxing and extremely well composed. And obviously, Keddjra knows what she's doing, because she's on the stairway to stardom like so many other figures in the Denver landscape today.
Would you say there's an overarching theme across your discography?
You know what, I would say yes. I think that a lot of my music is about like changing and growing and like coming into yourself. Anyways, like a lot of the things that I've written so far, I think a lot of it is like really tied by a sense of like kind of nostalgia and sadness. I feel like that's like a constant theme that's kind of in a lot of my music.
Would you say those are pretty common themes in bedroom pop specifically?
I don't know a ton about other bedroom pop artists, but I'd say yeah, honestly. Like I feel like a lot of the people that are making music and like doing it by themselves and as like stripped back and as bare of a way that, you know, I do it, like I feel like a lot of those times, those songs and that type of music is going to be very like introspective, you know?
I do feel, looking at just the general like album artwork and all, there's a Keddjra verse that you get little glimpses into.
Absolutely, yes, dude, totally.
What would you say is the biggest difference between your solo songs and your songs with people in between? As I see it, it can be a very different experience.
It is definitely a very different experience. I would say the biggest difference is with people in between, a lot more of my focus is on like entertaining the crowd and getting people involved and having fun. Like that, my main thing with people in between is I'm trying to draw everybody in, and I want it to be big, and I want it to be loud, and I want it to be fun and something that you can dance to. And with my personal project, that's more of like a very personal reflection of my soul. It's a lot more personal and sad, and it's a lot more, I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of see that. Like you kind of retreat into yourself.
Exactly. No, definitely.
With the solo stuff.
Yeah, I play my solo stuff. It's definitely more like drawing from inside, and I feel like when I play with people in between, it's a lot more of drawing from outside and trying to focus on energy in the crowd. And when I do my own stuff, the focus is a lot more on showing people and like expressing myself.
of all your singles, which one would you recommend people listen to first? Not necessarily the best, but just a good introduction point to Keddjra.
I'd say Pretty Boy. That song is definitely my most popular song. It has like a couple thousand streams on SoundCloud, and people tend to really, really like that one. I think it's a good introduction into it's a good introduction to me and my music without being too sad. Like you get the like fun vibes from it as well as the deep introspective lyrics, you know.
How do you think the current bedroom pop landscape could improve itself? Last time at Vision Quest, I brought up Joji as an example of someone who claims to be bedroom pop, but does not really carry those vibes. But I realized there's also Dua Lipa and Doja Cat in recent years have branded themselves as bedroom pop.
Really?
Do you think that's an honest label that they apply to themselves, considering it's not? They don't start in a bedroom, and do you think they should just maybe call themselves like pop?
I would say for Doja Cat's earlier stuff, you could definitely consider her bedroom pop, because I mean she was making her own beats, she was doing her own stuff like way back in the day when she first started. But to the point that she's gotten to now, I don't think she's really bedroom pop anymore, because when you start bringing in like professional producers and stuff like that, you know, you're gonna lose a little bit of that. It's not exactly bedroom pop when you're sitting in a $1 million studio recording tracks. In my personal opinion, I feel like if there's I don't listen to a lot of her stuff, honestly. I don't know very much about her. All I know is that she's really fucking good. Like I definitely like some of her stuff. I don't know enough about her to speak on whether or not I would consider her bedroom pop, though, honestly. I'd say as far as like the bedroom pop scene goes, I feel like the most important part is just people being vulnerable and people showing sides of themselves that they either couldn't express with other people or they, you know, like don't have any other outlet for it. I think that's like the best thing about bedroom pop.
You'd say more than anything, that's the critical factor of bedroom pop.
Exactly, yeah. Like I think the dope thing about it and the most important thing about it is anybody can do it, and it's just such a raw expression of emotion. Because when you're sitting there and you're making music by yourself, there's nobody telling you where it has to go or what it has to be. So it just ends up being whatever you can make it.
Okay. Out of all the Nicholas comics you got, which one would you recommend?
Oh my god, dude. Oh, what was that one? I was trying to remember the name of it. What were the names of them, bro? You gotta give me a little help.
I think you got Hypnagogic Archive, you got Divine Tapestry.
Divine Tapestry, dude.
You like Divine Tapestry?
Read Divine Tapestry.
Cigarette
final thoughts as one of the orbiters of bedroom pop in Denver, one of the key figures, and potentially nationwide, because it is kind of I wouldn't say a niche genre, but it is the type of genre that people should know more about. Any final thoughts to the viewers at home?
My final thoughts are keep making music. Don't let anybody tell you what's right and what's wrong in terms of the music and the art that you're creating, and stay true to yourself. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was just like revelatory there. These are the sorts of wild experiences you only get as a freelance music journalist, and especially in somewhere just really interesting like Denver. And this is one of the most interesting videos I've ever made, honestly, just splitting it up between two parts like this and seeing Keddjra months apart and all. It's pretty wild, sort of disorienting to be made aware of the passage of time like that. I'm glad I stopped doing my monthly radio show, because I think it's very important to make serious, in-depth, long, epic documentaries about figures like Keddjra. Because she really does add something to Denver that Denver would be lacking otherwise. She really does Denver going, and I can absolutely respect that on just so many levels. And I'm glad to be out here Sunday in Old Town Arvada. I'm going to catch the light rail and leave, and it's just a beautiful freaking day. What a time to hear jazz. If you're in the Denver area, just catch Keddjra. Just go and listen to some Keddjra. Lions Lair, or Hunter's Bay, or wherever she happens to be at. It's a one-of-a-kind, top-tier, you don't want to miss it type experience. It's really something else. Like, and hearing the two sides of her so back-to-back, it's like wild. Well, that's today's exciting music documentary. Hopefully you learned something about Keddjra, the bedroom pop pioneer of the Denver area. One interesting tidbit is that Keddjra seemed very excited to get her music on Indie 102.3, the radio station that hosts the event where I film my series Asking Interesting Questions. I've been going to these events for an entire year now, and I probably won't ever see my music appear on the radio, because it's not the type music that gets played on the radio per se. But it's very heartwarming to see that Keddjra is enjoying such success on the airwaves through a traditional format like radio, which I have an immense amount of respect for, even if it seems that my showing up at this radio-hosted event for an entire year has proved fruitless, and they don't accept my music on the radio, even though it doesn't contain any curse words or anything that would make it illegal to play on the radio. I just think my music, Denver New Wave, is a little too experimental, a little too crazy, a little too out there for a radio station like Indie 102.3 to play. It's not really within their parameters or genre categorization, and furthermore, I'm glad just to have the little niche in the underground that I've carved out. And I can definitely see why music like Keddjra's, which is a lot more harmonic and generally pleasing to the ear, would make it on the radio as opposed to mine, even if I have been going to like 12 of these things for an entire year. Anyway, that's about it for this exciting little musical documentary on the life and times of Keddjra. And until the next one, it has been Nick Cicada, your roving music reporter for the beautiful metropolis of Denver, Colorado. I'm out. Sayonara, suckers.